discuss and use the term gaps in protection, what we are actually identifying are situations in which migrants are not, their human rights are not being fully ensured. And so they experience a situation in which their lives, their livelihood, their dignity, their health, their human rights are being violated. So when we are discussing gaps in protection, we're trying to identify those situations in which state and non-state actors are failing to step up to respond to the needs of migrants who have been victims of human rights violations. It may be their ability to go to a police station and report a crime and to be treated as a victim of a crime. It may be the worker who is experiencing dangerous working conditions or who has worked and has not been paid their wages. There are gaps in protections when a family is experiencing difficult times and they are unable to seek social assistance and any other form of economic assistance, including food aid. All of those situations are gaps in protection. And they are often common in the lives of migrants, particularly in the case of irregular migrants. The COVID-19 pandemic has really put on the spotlight those situations of most concern. So, for instance, when individuals are unable to be tested for COVID-19 as a result of their migratory status or the fact that they are non-citizens, when someone is unable to seek medical care because they are sick with COVID-19, when a worker is fired from her or his work and he is unable to claim the wages for the work he did, when children are unable to continue their education online or any form as a result of lockdown, there is no doubt that we are in the midst of a profound crisis, a situation that we have not experienced before. Civil society is stepping up greatly, trying to bring the private sector, trying to bring cities along to fill those gaps. And that is important work. What we are also observing is creative solutions, in most cases led by cities. And we have observed how, local authorities are stepping up because they understand that the individuals who live in their cities have needs, that they are not going to be covered by the national system. However, I think this is also a moment when we are called on to reflect in terms of what are the structural conditions that result in migrants falling into these cracks in terms of protection. This is a twofold challenge. How do we address the immediate pressing needs, but also what lessons do we learn, what difficulties do we identify clearly now, and how do we simultaneously commit to addressing those structural conditions and changing both the economic models as well as the legal frameworks? I think that there is a very important role for civil society, which is many organizations also can bring to the forefront the voices of migrants, of those directly impacted. Civil society has been able to identify those protection gaps, and so it can also contribute to identify the necessary revisions and modifications, both in terms of legal frameworks that are necessary to be put in place, as well as other solutions. Businesses clearly have also experienced the economic fallout. So it's time that we think of how we can build back together for the protection of both the workers and the private sector. And I think that they have ideas, they have resources, and they also have the great ability and flexibility. The key message is that while we simultaneously address the gaps in protection and work in that sense, we also have to identify the conditions that are creating these gaps in protection and address them. It's a twofold challenge that we have, And we have to be able to work simultaneously on both of them.